Hello, welcome back to the channel. Right, as you know, I got my delivery last week and I managed to squeeze in the White album over the weekend, and that was fab, excuse the pun. Anyway, got the house to myself again today, and you know the other album that came with it, the wonderful Rubber Soul. Now, I was going to unwrap it on video, and I did just unwrap it, but wasn't recording, so sorry about that. But I haven't got it out of its sleeve yet, just as well I noticed. So, released on the 3rd of December 1965, the wonderful Rubber Soul. Do you reckon a lot of people got this for their Christmas box that year? I reckon so. So, I'm going to give it a little spin now, and I'll let you know my thoughts and feelings on it after. Let's do this. That's amazing though, isn't it? You don't get that same... When you used to buy CDs, you buy a CD, have a quick look at it and take it home and play it. With this, I mean, I stopped and I had a proper little look at the cover. I love that cover, by the way. It's actually one of my favourite Beatle covers. I know it's quite simple, slightly distorted. But anyway, here we go. Rambling on again. White one this time. I love these little anti-statics, but look, there it is on the Parlophone label. Side 1, Drive My Car. Right. So I'm going to give this a little spin before my house is infiltrated this afternoon, as it always is. I can't wait to play this, so I'll be back after I've played it. My friends, a thing of beauty. Let's do this. I'll see you in a little while. Marvellous. I love Rubber Soul. Who don't, right? You can definitely feel that Revolver, Pepper, you know. I think where the Beatles become so famous straight off in the beginning, they got really confident and it just fueled their creativity. I think, you know, I know a lot of people probably thought, oh, when they stopped touring, you know, shame, bad and all that lot. But let's be honest, I mean, they got really creative in the studio, didn't they? I think it was around about this time, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So, pure gold dust. Love Rubber Soul. It's probably one of my faves, but it's really hard to pick a fave, isn't it? So, been really looking forward to playing it, and I've held off, you know, playing any of the tracks on my computer or my CDs or whatever, and I'm glad I did. Terrific. Excuse me. So, thoughts on it. Right, let's just move my bookmark. Me and my kids at Abbey Road. Right. Well, straight off it kicked off with Drive My Car, with that really cool little riff at the beginning, and Paul McCartney doing his sort of like Little Richard's impersonation. Yeah, it's quite a nice start to the song. But I think the second one is the first classic of the album, which is Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown. I mean, I love Norwegian Wood. It's such a simple song, just about an affair really. And I think it's the first song where George Harrison brought in the sitar, I think you'll find. And it fits in perfectly. Such a simple song. Yeah, it's magical. It's typical John. Beautiful, beautiful song. The next one is You Won't See Me, which is a Paul McCartney vocal, which sounded terrific. And then another one of my faves, Nowhere Man. Now, John initially brought this surrealistic character to life as a self-description. So he was the Nowhere Man. But later, after he admitted he'd done drugs and stuff, it became one of the focal points for analysis. Put your teeth in, Stripey. Yeah. So a Nowhere Man could have been anything from a drug pusher to the captain on a yellow submarine. But Nowhere Man's brilliant, isn't it? The harmonies in the background, just that. It's the Beatles, what can you say? They just churning them out. Alright, and the next one along is Think for Yourself. And this is the first of two, I think, by George Harrison on this. And yeah, it sounded absolutely wonderful. And as you can see with this and later on, George is really starting to come into his own with his songwriting. I mean, he learned from the masters, let's be honest. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were just terrific. Right, what else did we have after that? It was The Word, which is, you can sort of, it's got that all you need is love feel about it, if you know what I mean. It's got that, they go in that way. Then it went into the beautiful Michelle, my belle. Apparently it was a song about the daughter of an American millionaire that Paul McCartney knew. But when you think about it, I mean, like Something in the Way She Moves, like, and Michelle, I mean, how many artists, big artists, I'm talking Sinatra, I'm talking Elvis, have sung these Beatles classics? And they are classics, you know. Shirley Bassey, you name it, they've all done it. So that was side one, and it was terrific. But it went a little bit too fast for my liking. Side two obviously starts with What Goes On, that sort of rockabilly vocal from Ringo that seems to suit him so well. And that sounded great. And then it goes into Girl, John Lennon's Girl. I love that song. Just a really nice vocal with Paul and George doing their la 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 and ahs in the background. It sounded terrific on record as well. I'm Looking Through You sounded wonderful. Paul on lead vocals this time. And then it slips into the beautiful In My Life, which is one of my all-time favourite Beatles songs. It's, the words conjure up stories a bit like Strawberry Fields maybe, but it's got a very unobtrusive melody going on in the background, and that little, is it a harpsichord bit in the middle? Oh, beautiful. I think George Martin might have done that, but that is absolutely one of my favourites. After that comes Wait. That's a strange one, Wait. I mean, it's a quirky, nice little song, but it kind of feels like it should have been on probably Help or maybe even Beatles for Sale. Looks like it might have been left over from that, but still lovely anyway. And then the second of the George Harrison numbers, If I Needed Someone. Let's be honest, terrific. George Harrison was really coming into his own. It's a lovely little number that just pops along really nicely. Just typical Beatles song. And then finally, Run for Your Life. Now, I really enjoyed listening to it just now. But I've heard that, you know, the Beatles weren't too keen and John himself didn't really like it after, you know, so maybe someone might be able to tell me why in the comments below, because I actually just listened to it and I thought it was wonderful. I know it's about jealousy and all that lot, but still, marvellous. So, yeah, that was me Rubber Soul. And I'm so glad that, you know, marvellous. So my next instalment on the Beatles vinyls, that is, will be Magical Mystery Tour. Now that's going to be nice, isn't it? Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields. That's if I don't pick up the single Friday. We'll see. We'll just see. But yeah, so that was really good. Loved listening to Rubber Soul again. I might even give it another spin this afternoon. So yeah. Well, so that's it for another ramble, really, for today. I've got bits to do this afternoon, so I'm going to cut this short. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you haven't listened to Rubber Soul for a while, do yourself a favour. Go dig it out, stick it on, turn your phone off, turn it up, and enjoy yourself. Wonderful, wonderful. And obviously, we know what was after that. Chronologically, that is Revolver. I mean, that's a way off yet in the collection, but I really like Revolver. Right, anyway, before I start waffling on again, right, so you have yourselves a lovely day, whatever you're doing, and I'll be back with another ramble real soon. Thanks for watching.